Hi guys, so it's update day. Yes, we got some changes. Hopefully they're going to all be positive ones. I've just ran a couple of battlegrounds on the new map to see what it was like, and to be honest, the first two matches I did wasn't very balanced, but we won't go by just that. I think we will have to do some more testing. I haven't actually played much of the new BG since it was brought out, simply because the time is still stuck up between 6 and 9 p.m, which to me, I hope they adjust sooner rather than later. I would love to be able to get some more of these kind of matches in and do a lot more testing when it comes to the new map, but time constraints, sometimes they just don't sit right with the working life, sadly. But let's get into today's video. So as always, if you do like watching my content and you want to help support the channel, a like and subscribe always goes a long way. And if you want to push that a little bit extra and become a member of the channel, feel free to do that as well. As always, we have the Discord. If you want to jump in there and have a chat about Necro, about the game, then also feel free to do so. So today we've got some kind of big changes, especially when it comes to the CR of dungeons and of raids. But the first thing we're going to look at is the new event center, which we have been used to now. So we've got the iron stockpile. So we've got daily tasks in here, so don't forget to be doing Survivor's Bane, because that is on here and you don't get it on the side here anymore, so it's kind of annoying that you don't get to it's hidden almost. And then obviously you've got the Defense of Serengar as well to do, which is obviously some of the events on here to gain the rewards going along. Now we are obviously pushing towards 800, so the recommendation at the moment in time is save as many of these as you can. Simply because when it comes to getting to 800, you're going to want to be able to open these up as well as save these for any potential new gear that is coming to the game. I like to try and keep an even balance of opening these when we get to a new difficulty and having some left over when new stuff comes to the game, to be able to hopefully try and get some of the new essences. The next thing that we've got that obviously is coming up is Trial of the Hordes is going to be here coming on the 9th, and you want to be kind of making sure you get that done, because that will be listed in the event center as well, because the Survivor's Bane will be going the same day as the Trials of the Hordes arrives. Now we have got the new Cosmetic. Now I don't know if people have actually had a look at this, but I kind of like it. I only like it simply because of one thing. I don't like the cost. 4,500 orbs is rather a lot, but you do get it across all 8 classes, and you do get both versions. Now to me, I like the blue, don't get me wrong, but I love this red. This red is amazing, absolutely amazing. And the good thing about the red one is, yeah, you get it across 8 classes when you pay this price, and you do get obviously the portal. But if you go to standard, you only have to pay 1,000 orbs. I'm so tempted because this look is pretty nice, but who knows. I don't normally buy the cosmetics that are in here. I normally just wait for the good battle pass ones and always buy the battle pass, but I could be tempted to go for this one. Now the other thing that's come up as an event which we all need to discuss is the Winds of Fortune. Now this is only going to last until the 9th, so you haven't got very long when it comes to using this. Now my recommendations is, now if you've done this week's gems already, I would use this buff Monday after reset, so you can then gain your gems as quickly as possible. Now me, I haven't gained all my gems this week, so I'm going to be doing this late on Sunday night so that I can do it again Monday to gain my gems quickly for next week. The rest of it I'm not too concerned about. Don't get me wrong, some of the extra rewards are really good, but I think getting them gems double quick actually saves time throughout the week for doing other things, especially as we've got 800 coming up and a lot of us are going to be going into pre-farm. Now that is going to be the next thing we're talking about here. Party finder here, we go to look at the dungeons. So currently, you know, challenge dungeons is going to be out the question when it comes to doing pre-farm. You still need 47,690, but standard normal dungeons you now only need 46,190, and that was, from my notes here, you required 47,690 before, and now they've swapped it, so now you need 47,690 for challenge. So recommendations are, if you are above the 4,600 or just hitting at 46,190, then definitely get into pre-farming so you're ready when you hit 800 to stick on some really high CR and go straight into doing challenge modes, and hopefully then replacing a lot of your gear being able to then go into doing the Heliquary 6 raids, which some of their CRs have been adjusted as well, but they're not quite there for doing it for me yet. The other thing is Elder Rifts. The change there is pretty cool, but I don't think many of us are going to be using it, to be honest. I think if we was to be able to gain much more from it. So yeah, I've got 156 crests currently. I've got 3 in. I add in them, and then I can add another 90. But as you see there, it goes from adding 10 to gaining 40 of the telluric fragments and 20 of the fading embers. I then go up to 400 fragments and 110 of those, but it's going to cost me 100 to do it. Just seems, I don't know, unless you've got thousands of these saved, which not many of us are going to have, then I don't know what the point in this is really. You know, it does seem a pointless thing, but especially with these 97, none of my party is going to be gaining anything from it. It's only going to be me that's gaining from it. Next up, we have the Legendary Gem UI. Now, what they've done with the Legendary Gem UI is they've actually faded the rank parts of the gems, so it doesn't it's not so pronounced, but it's still enough for you to see what rank they are. They've also made it so in the stacks, you only have the stacks of 2 and upwards show. You don't just have 1 shown on the ones that have just got the 1 gem on its own. I think that was a really needed change. Now, the other cool thing they did was with this, and I did keep some of my other gear in that I've been farming, doing AFK farming today. Let me just get rid of the salvage there. When you click an item now, it grays out the rest of it and shows you that item in your bags for that particular slot. Cool change. I think this is kind of cool how it works, but I think there's still more that can be done when it comes to us having full control over all of our gear, when it comes to being in our stash, when it comes to being in our inventory, and when it comes to being in our armory, to make things much easier for all of us, especially us, I suppose, more hardcore farmers, hardcore players. We've been calling it for a long time, and I can show you what I mean before we finish up this video. The other thing that's come is the Moonlight Flora here. When you now got this X and you click on here, you can actually cancel this reminder for 7 days, and I'm actually going to do that, and it's now gone, so I won't see that again. Other than that, update wise, the battleground does seem a bit better when it comes to moving across the battlefield, but I think overall it's yet to be seen when it comes to the balance changes, how that has affected us really. I'm still yet to test a few other things that were in the update to do with summons and how they're affected by skill damage. I have to go through all of the summons for the Necromancer and see what's changed, what's not changed, and see if anything is potentially bugged with summons, because we all know what it's like when it comes to Necromancers and summons. Sometimes there is some things that just don't quite seem right. But that is it for me when it comes to that. So when I talk about the Armory, and I mentioned this in my previous video, I think that they need to really change one thing. So when you've got your Armory, you've got all your things that are equipped in here, you've got it set up so you know what's being saved in your loadout, but then you start changing around pieces, what you're wearing, what you're doing throughout the day, and then you go into your stash, you go, oh my god, this is a right mess. And as you can see, I've got no end of gear that's just saved because I'm afraid to delete stuff because it might be linked to an Armory slot. Now, an easy thing that can be solved when it comes to, this would be in our Armory slots. Let me just go back to our Armory instead of going into the stash again. In our Armory slots, so this helm here and the gear that I'm currently in. So this helm here that I'm using, and this particular piece of gear, I want to know that this piece of gear here is in my Armory slot. So if I swap out this one, so instead of having all of these stats on it, I swap out for this one, I still know that this one is being used in an Armory slot. Because I may not need bone armor in another build. I may want something else there in another build. I may not need as much crit in another build. I may want something else in another build. So I would like to know which ones in my stash, especially the coming to green items, which ones are actually linked to my Armory. I've got all of the green items in here saved in my stash, and to me, I can't really tell which ones are being used. Just give me an Armory icon so I know. In the corner here, little Armory icon saying this one is on one of your loadouts. And then I know that I've saved that to a loadout. I'm not going to need to delete that one because it is linked to that. Come on, Blizzard. Give us what we're asking for. So, above all that, enjoy the patch. Any bugs, anything else you think Blizzard could do over the next coming patches, put it in the comments. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Plenty coming up this month, guys.